Hello and Dumelang from Botswana. My name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. I'm coming up back again with a few nuggets of wisdom here for you. I'm going to give you top 10 nuggets of wisdom in real estate on keeping and retaining great tenants in Africa. We run a real estate outfit called Mogobe Incorporated, and I've been in the field for more than 10 years. So it gives me great pleasure to come to you and share with you on this subject. You know, I am mentor to quite a number of mentees. Actually, we're in the middle of a 6th cohort of Mogobe Real Estate Mentorship Program. So the issue of tenant retention is an issue that keeps coming up from time to time. So let me give you those top 10 nuggets. Number 1, quality property maintenance. What am I talking about here? I'm saying to you that it's important that you regularly maintain and improve your properties. We cannot afford to be seen as slum landlords. And I'm preaching to you as much as I'm preaching to myself on this one, because it's an issue for which sometimes it becomes very difficult to find money to focus on maintenance. So it's very important that we have some money set aside in any given month for preventative maintenance, for emergency maintenance, and for repairs and things like that, so that our properties can remain desirable. It is very, very tough for landlords. I know sometimes you have to pay the mortgage, you have to also take care of your other expenses, and on top of that you have to look at maintenance. Number 2, responsive communication. Responsive communication means that you need to be prompt and clear in your communication with tenants. Promptness actually trumps clarity. They're both important, but if I was to choose, promptness is very, very important. In your communication with tenants and in addressing their inquiries, even if you are not able to address a particular source of concern or issue that the tenant is complaining about, it is very, very important that you let them know. We at Mogobe Incorporated, for instance, we have a maintenance schedule. So sometimes you may want to inform the tenant that, yes, we're putting together a maintenance schedule. We may not put you in the schedule for the coming month or two, but on the 3rd month, we're definitely putting it to you there. And here are maybe the interim steps or preliminary steps that we want to take in the interim to make sure that the problem is taken care of. But you are definitely in the maintenance schedule. That is very, very important. Number 3, fair rent pricing. What does that mean? This means that as landlords, we have to really watch the market very, very carefully, and we should not price ourselves out of the market. In other words, we need to set reasonable rental rates that are competitive with similar properties in the area. We have to ensure to be ensuring affordability for the tenants. In other words, we have to make sure that the rates that we come up with are consistent. What I normally do, or rather what we normally do at Mogobe Incorporated, is that we will inquire from the real estate agents that we deal with what a particular piece of property that may be coming onto the market. For instance, if we finish a building, for instance, or we want to, a property has become vacant, we normally want to find out from our colleagues in the industry what the going rate is. Number 4, you establish trust. You need to build trust by being open and transparent. You need to be honest and reliable in all you're dealing with tenants. I'd like to think that we do our best at Mogobe Incorporated at all times to have an open book policy where we are open and transparent. Of course, there are issues that may be of a confidential nature for us as landlords, but by and large, issues that involve our interaction between ourselves and the tenants, those issues we're very, very open about. So transparency and openness is very, very important, and it's vitally so. Number 5, respect cultural differences. What does that mean? You have to know your tenants, and you need to appreciate their cultural nuances in terms of the culture from which they come. If you, for instance, you're renting out to a Muslim gentleman, you know that you have to behave well on a Friday afternoon when they need to go to the mosque and not harass them and trouble them at that time. Understand and respect diverse cultures and backgrounds of your tenants, which may influence their preferences and needs. We've been fortunate enough to have tenants from all over the world, from all nationalities and from all backgrounds. So we try our best to be very, very sensitive and make sure that we don't offend the people's culture. We don't mess up with their beliefs in that regard. So that's a very, very important consideration as a landlord. Number 6, safety and security. It's important that you prioritize safety and security of your properties by implementing measures like property lighting and making sure that security locks are in place, and where necessary to provide actual security. Throughout most of our properties as Mogobe Incorporated, we have security gentlemen, night watchmen and day watchmen that we employ depending on the nature of the property. Some properties will have, like for instance Mogobe Plaza, will have people who come at night and people who come during the day. Other properties such as G West Industrial Site, for instance, we only ensure that people come in the evening. So security is very, very important. Our electrician and our electrical consultants are always been called upon to make sure that they renew the lights, they get the best lights available. And in this regard, I'll advise you for free that LED lights are the rave, they are the way to go, because they produce a lot of power at minimum cost. So we make sure those are prominently displayed around our buildings and that there is enough lighting to avoid any shenanigans taking place. Number 7, offer amenities and services. What do I mean by that? You need to provide amenities such as reliable water, reliable electricity supply, and consider additional services like cleaning and maintenance where feasible. We at Mogobe Incorporated, we have arrangements, for instance, at Mogobe Plaza, where we have a whole army of cleaners who clean the entire building. And then in addition to that, we on the basis of the levies that we get the tenants to pay, we're able to charge for cleaning. And we have a skip from one of our other companies, which is Clean Cities and Towns. We provide a skip container there where tenants are able to dispose their rubbish as well. So it's very important that cleanliness and maintenance be taken care of. We don't always win in this area, but it's an area which we are policing very closely, and we are ensuring that we stay on top of it as best we can. Number 8, regular inspections. Sometimes I drive around at night at our various properties. What we do, we conduct routine property inspections to address maintenance issues and to proactively see what the tenants may be needing and what the property may be requiring. Recently, in one of my drives, I was able to see that a particular property had been neglected by the cleaners for a very long time, and I was able to alert my team, and action was taken immediately as a result of those efforts of driving around. At the same time, walking around and meeting with tenants at unscheduled times is something that inspires confidence. But obviously I have to caution here as a lawyer that in terms of the lease, you are required to give reasonable notice if you want to actually go inside the premises occupied by a tenant. So I'm not urging that you be an intruder. I'm not urging intrusiveness where you come in without an appointment and that sort of thing. I'm urging or advising that there should be constant touch where you visit these properties. What we do at Mogobe Incorporated is that we make sure even our managers move around from time to time to see the various properties. Number 9, foster community. What do I mean by that? This means basically create a sense of community among tenants by organizing events or providing common areas where they can interact and build relationships. We at Mogobe Incorporated, for instance, had these massive Christmas parties where we used to invite tenants, we used to invite our employees to come and interact and in an informal setting. You know, we stopped because of COVID, but I think this year we should consider reviving those Christmas parties where we actually call upon the tenants to come, and the tenants can come and share on something, and we interact, and you know, they want a few informal speeches here and there, and a lot of drinks are shared. And there are other ways also of enhancing those relationships. Of course, you have to maintain that arm's length policy. I'm a very strong believer that arm's length is very important, because you don't want to interfere with that professional relationship. Now, flexible lease terms. You have to consider offering flexible lease options such as long-term leases or month-to-month agreements. You have to be innovative as a landlord. We do sometimes where during COVID, for instance, where things were very tough, we're offering some tenants 6 months leases and 1 month, 1 year leases, so that a tenant has the opportunity to decide whether or not they want to stay. So I always give you a bonus. Those are the top 10 nuggets of wisdom on tenant retention, how to retain tenants. Now let me give you a bonus to say that understanding the local market and the specific needs of the tenants in your area is crucial for success. It's crucial for retaining those tenants. As well, you have to be adapting to regional preferences and needs. We have, for instance, some of our properties in the Gaborone area, and we have some in Maung. The way we deal with tenants in Maung and the way we deal with tenants in Gaborone is not exactly the same. We adapt to the environment, we speak the language, we bring down to our levels. So adapting to regional preferences and needs will help you retain great tenants in the Botswana real estate market, in the African real estate market. This is something that you as a landlord needs to pay particular attention to and study. That having been said, thank you so much for taking the time out and for watching this video. I'm now urging you to strike that subscribe button, to hit that notification bell, and to like this video so that we are able to stay in touch. Remember that the best way for us to be able to give you this great content is by you subscribing and making sure that we stay relevant in terms of the algorithms. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.